Dear students, in the previous session, I had just started the chapter differential equation. I gave you the definition of a differential equation and we discussed about the order and the degree of the differential equation and we worked out some problems. Now, in this session and onwards, I am going to solve the differential equation. What you see, I told you in the previous session itself, it has two parts. One is formation of the differential equation, second one is solution of the differential equation. In the formation of the differential equation, we make use of the knowledge of differentiation. That is, a function would be given to you. By differentiating, we develop a differential equation. So here, we are confining ourselves to the solution of the differential equation. That means that here a differential equation is given. To find the solution, we have to integrate that one. So, to know about the differential equation, the knowledge of both the differentiation and integration is needed. Okay. So, differentiation for the formation, integration for the solution, solving the equation. Now, here there are two types of solutions. One is general solution, the other one is particular solution. See, the words themselves give us the meaning of that one. General means, you know that just now I told you, when a differential equation is given, to get the solution, we have to integrate the function. We have to integrate the function. So, you know that whenever we do the integration of any function, say gx, say integrating any function, always we write a constant. We take a constant, we add a constant. What do you call that one? It is called as an arbitrary constant. That is, whenever we do the integration of any function, a constant would be added which is called as an arbitrary, of course constant of integration we call, here we call it as an arbitrary constant. So, when the solution involves an arbitrary constant, we call it as a general solution. Now, what do you mean by particular solution? Again, the word particular means it is only one solution we are getting. After integration, after getting this general solution, whenever you are asked to find the particular solution, the values of x and y would be given in the problem. Now, suppose you get some solution. For example, say x square plus y square equal to 4x plus c. Some example, random example. Here, the values of x and y would be given. When x is equal to 1, y is equal to minus 1. Something would be given for you. Then what you have to do, wherever x and y are there, you have to substitute the value. This is 1 plus 1 equal to 4 into 1 plus c. Then you know the value of c, that would be equal to minus 2. You substitute here for minus 2, automatically it becomes a particular solution. Okay. So here, to get the general solution, you do the integration. The solution of any differential equation is calculated or obtained by integrating the function. When you do the integration, we always have an arbitrary constant. Therefore, that is known as a general solution. Now, when the values of x and y have been substituted in the general solution, the value of c can be calculated or c would be evaluated. Substituting the value of c back in the general solution, we get a particular solution. So, this is the meaning of general and particular solution. Now, our next problem is how to find the solution. So, now we start the solution of first degree. I told you in the previous session itself, that is, we confine only our study to the solution of first degree, first order differential equation. First degree, first order differential equation. See, when you go to higher classes, you will be discussing about the solution of higher degree, higher order differential equation. At present, we are confining only our study to the solution of the first degree and first order differential equation. And again, I had mentioned in the previous session, there will be 3 methods here. We discuss one after another. The first method I am considering where the variables are separable. Variables are separable. What's the meaning of this one? That is, see, in the differential equation, there are 2 variables x and y. Okay, we collect all the functions containing x and dx on one side, the function containing y and dy on the other side. That is the meaning of separating the variables. Then after separating them, no, we do the integration. I don't say integrate with respect to x or with respect to y like that. Just integrate. When you integrate, then you will be getting a solution. Of course, c would be added to that one. That is known as a general solution, whatever I mentioned just now here. Then, if the values of x and y have been given, if you substitute, you get the value of c, which is called as a particular solution. Okay. Now, how to separate the variables? So, the first method is known as the variables separable form, or solving the first degree, first order differential equation with differential equation with variables separable, or we do the separation of the variables. Now, I am taking a general equation and try to solve the equation. Now, consider a first order, first degree differential equation. Let us assume it is of the form dy by dx equal to f of xy, that is dy by dx would be here, and some function would be on the right hand side. So, we have to integrate to arrive at the solution. Suppose the right hand side f of xy, if it could be written as a product of 2 functions, for example g of x into h of y. See, that is why in the question paper they don't specify use the variable separable method, use the linear differentiation. Now, they won't specify anything about that one. By looking at the equation, you have to analyze, you have to identify which method is applicable. That is the case even in integration also. They don't specify the method of integration in the question paper. By looking at the function, you have to decide whether it is substitution method or the partial fraction method or the integration by parts. Here also, looking at this one, you have to think whether we can separate the variables or not. If it can be separated, then you apply the first procedure. Then if it is of the second method, what I am going to teach in the coming sessions, then you have to decide looking at the equation, because they don't specify that in the question. Okay. Suppose this could be written as a product of gx and hy. What do you mean by that? This is a function containing x, that is a function containing y. In that case, now our next problem is we have to separate the variables. That means gx and dx, they should come together, dy and hy, they should come together. How is it possible? Look here, dx is in the denominator position. Anything that is in the denominator position, suppose you want to take it to the numerator, what has to be done? You have to always multiply by that one. Denominator to numerator, if you want to change, you have to multiply. Multiply both the sides by dx. Then what happens here? When you multiply, automatically dx is cancelled here. Right hand side, we are having gx into hy into dx. Okay. You can say cross multiply, so but only one term is there. Better you use the word multiply by dx. Now, gx and dx are together. This hy I do not want. It has to come with the dy here, isn't it? How to bring it to this side? That is, see, when it is in the denominator, take it to the numerator, we multiply. When it is in the numerator, to take it to the denominator, what has to be done? You have to divide by hy. You have to divide by hy. So, when you dividing means both the sides, of course. Divide this and divide that. This here cancels. Here it gets it goes to the denominator position. So dy by hy is equal to gx into dx. Now you see that the variables are separated, isn't it? Next thing is, to get the solution you have to integrate. So write here integrate. See all these things, no, you have to write here. First, always make it a habit to bring dx to the numerator, that is multiplication. Then depending upon the term, depending upon the position of the term, either you may have to multiply or you may have to divide, that you have to decide. Okay. Now integrate. Integrate means use the integral sign. 1 integral 1 by hy dy is equal to integral gx into dx. And important, immediately you add a constant. See, one thing always you remember. Sometimes while doing the integration, some students, no, they don't write the constant. Okay, if you miss a constant with a problem on only integration, usually marks will not be cut for that one. But in the case of differential equation, if you omit the constant, generally 1 mark would be cut. Okay, because if you write the C, it gives the general solution. You cannot omit that one. So that is, I always advise the students to make it a habit to add the constant whenever they do any problem on integration. So it becomes as a habit for you. As soon as you do the integration, adding a constant becomes a habit. So you will not be missing that one, and you will not be missing the mark also. Okay. So as soon as you write the integral sign here, you just add the constant, so that would be there always. Now integrate this function. Of course here you can write log of h of y, and depending upon that function you can do the integration, and this becomes the solution. Okay. Now this is what? A general solution, isn't it? This is a general solution. Suppose I want a particular solution. Particular solution means, I told you already, x and y values will be given to you. So after the integration is done, wherever x and y are there, substitute the values which will be given in the problem itself. Then you get the value of c. So go back to this one, general solution, write the value of c. If it is possible to rearrange, you can do that one. Now here sometimes we will be getting some logarithmic function. Generally they don't ask you show that this is the solution. Generally they don't ask you, they simply ask you solve the equation. Suppose the function contains maximum number of terms containing logarithmic functions, see that you could use the law of the logarithm and express the answer in a simple way. As far as possible, try to write. Sometimes generally we write the function as y is equal to fx in that form. Of course, it is not possible in all the problems. Wherever it is possible, or if you could express the answer in a simpler way, better you do that one. For that, you may have to use some rules, some logarithmic rules or inverse function, whatever may be that one, depending upon what terms you are getting after integration. Now, let us start working out the problems. First, I am calculating the general solution, that is, find the general solution. Now, find the general solution. Find the general solution. Okay. Now this is how it would be given. In the question, actually they just give you solve the equation. Okay. Now let me take the first problem. dy by dx is equal to x plus 1 divided by 2 minus y. The condition is given, y is not equal to 2. Why condition is given? Suppose y takes the value 2, denominator becomes 0, which is not defined at all, isn't it? Therefore, avoiding this value for y, all the other values are applicable. Okay. Now, first I told you, see here, dy by dx is there, x is there, y is there. We want to separate them. It is possible to do the separation. What is the first step I told you? First, always see that dx comes to the numerator position. First, write multiply by dx. First step. That is, you have to multiply both the sides. It is already in the left hand side. So, automatically it gets cancelled. You need not multiply cancel here. Directly you can use. it is 2 minus y into dx. Generally it can be given for a 3-mark question. Now x and dx have come together. This is an unwanted term here. Unwanted means it is containing y which we do not want on this side, isn't it? Now it is also in the denominator, it has to go to the numerator. So dx we brought it to numerator by multiplying. So what has to be done for this one? The same thing here also, multiply. Okay, multiply by what? 2 minus y. So when you multiply both the sides, here it gets cancelled, here it goes to the numerator. Therefore, we are having now 2 minus y into dy, that is equal to x plus 1 into dx. See, you clearly see that both x and y have been separated, correct? Now what we have to do? We have to go for integration. Immediately you can write the words also, integrate, or write the sign here, integral to, you can write here, integrate like this, integrate 2 minus y into dy, that is equal to integral x plus 1 dx. I told you immediately you add a constant, don't forget that one. Now separate them, it is 2 into integral dy minus integral y into dy, that is equal to integral x into dx plus integral dx plus c. You observe all of them are basic algebraic functions. So this is 2y, this is y square by 2, this is x square by 2 plus x plus c. Okay. Now you can stop here. This is the solution already, it's a general solution only. You can stop here, but let me try to write in a better way if possible. So what I do is, because I am having 2 here in the denominator for some terms, multiply by 2. When you multiply by 2, it is 2 into 2, 4y minus y square. Right hand side x square plus 2x plus 2c, or 2c can be replaced by c dash, another constant also. Now take all of them to same side, 0 equal to, shift them, it is x square plus y square plus 2x minus 4y plus 2c, or if you write in the proper order, x square plus y square plus 2x minus 4y plus 2c equal to 0. So you write is the solution. Of course, it is a general solution I am calculating. Okay. Now, you have studied in first PUC analytical geometry. It's a circle actually. It's a circle, equation of a circle here. So in all the problems, it may not be possible. So as soon as you complete the integration, that is the solution. I am just writing, because the 2 was in the denominator position, I am readjusting the terms to bring it to a particular form. If it is possible, you do, otherwise not necessary, okay? Because generally they do not ask you to write the answer in a particular way. But when the logarithmic functions are there, better you use the logarithmic rules, because in such problems generally they expect the answer in a simpler way. Now let us move on to the next problem. dy by dx is equal to 1 plus y square over 1 plus x square. 1 plus y square over 1 plus x square. Now look here, left hand side dy by dx, here y term, here x term. So what is the first step I told you? First dx has to be taken to the other side. So first step is multiply by dx. Multiply by dx, first step, okay? That is dy would be equal to 1 plus y square divided by 1 plus x square into dx. Multiplication means both the sides. Multiply both sides by dx also you can write. So now dx and 1 plus x square should be on one side, and this is not wanted here. It has to go to the left hand side to be with the dy. Now it is in the numerator, isn't it? So what you have to do now? Divide divide both sides by 1 plus y square. So, I divide the left hand side, I divide the right hand side. When I divide, this gets cancelled, it goes to the left hand side. So, dy by 1 plus y square equal to dx over 1 plus x square. Same type of functions I am having, only the variables are different. Next, what we have to do? We have to integrate, isn't it? Integrate, that is integral 1 plus y square into dy is equal to integral 1 by 1 plus x square into dx plus the constant. See, we are doing the integration here. You have to remember all the standard integrals as well as the methods of integration. Of course, in the previous problem also, I considered the functions were very simple basic algebraic function. Here also, both of them are inverse function. You have learnt about 6 special functions in integration. This resembles the third one, I mean 1 over integral 1 by a square plus x square, that is 1 by a into tan inverse x by a. In the place of a, this 1, therefore 1 by 1, or you can directly write tan inverse of y is equal to tan inverse of x plus the constant c is the solution. See, I told you already, you can stop here. But one thing I just want to tell you, see this, you come across or you attend so many competitive examinations generally after the PUC examination, isn't it? And usually all of them have the multiple choice questions, isn't it? So, there may be a problem on a differential equation where you will be having 4 choices. This may not be, though this is the solution here, may not be one of the 4 choices. In that case, no, you may have to use the inverse trigonometric function properties. Okay, then you could do some simplification. If this is one of the options, no problem, directly we can tick it, mark it correct, isn't it? If it is not there, no, how to simplify? Otherwise, it is not necessary. You can stop here, that is the solution. How you can do this is, just I am showing you. If it is needed, you can use that one. Now, write it as tan inverse y minus tan inverse x equal to c. That is, use the property of the inverse trigonometric function, that is tan inverse x minus tan inverse y is tan inverse x minus y over 1 plus xy. That is tan inverse y minus x over 1 plus xy, that is equal to c. Or using the definition of the inverse trigonometric function, y minus x over 1 plus xy is equal to tan c. Or you can write also y minus x equal to 1 plus xy into tan c. Or you can still write it as y is equal to x plus 1 plus xy into tan c. Okay. Of course, it is an implicit function only, you have learnt in differentiation. See here, I am not saying that you have to do all this calculation, absolutely not necessary, because this is the solution. In case you do not have that one in any examination, I am telling you, you have to rearrange the terms if it is possible. If you could make use of any standard result, if it is possible, certainly you can do that one. Now, let me move on to, each problem is little bit different from the previous one. Some change would be there. So, some method of integration may be different, or the method may be different, or the formula that we will use may be different. Let us move on to the next problem. Dy by dx equal to, dy by dx equal to 1 minus cos x divided by 1 plus cos x. Look here, in the previous 2 problems, both the problems, we had both x term and y term, isn't it? And observe here, we have dy by dx, of course it is there. On the right hand side, you do not have any y term at all. It is containing only x term. Now, let me do the simplification of this one before separating the variables. Let me use the half angle formula. It is 2 sin square x by 2 and this is 2 cos square x by 2. Okay, 2 and 2 are cancelled. Sin square by cos square is tan square x by 2. See, we directly cannot integrate this one, but you can use it, you can rewrite this one using the second identity of trigonometry. You know that 1 plus tan square theta is equal to secant square theta. Therefore, tan square x by 2 could be written as secant square x by 2 minus 1. Okay. Now, of course, after cross multiplying also you can do all these things. I am just preparing the function in the beginning itself. Now, multiply by dx. Multiply by dx. It does not contain any y term at all. That is, dy would be equal to what you have on the right hand side, secant square x by 2 minus 1 into dx. Now, let us integrate, that is integral dy equal to integral secant square x by 2 minus 1 into dx. Immediately you add the constant. Now, how many terms? Left hand side integral dy means it becomes y, no problem. Right hand side we are having two functions here. So, let us split and write, that is integral secant square x by 2 into dx minus integral 1 into dx plus the constant. Now, see, they have been separated. Let us do the integration. Integration means integral dy becomes y and secant square x. What is the integral of secant square x? It is tan x. Secant square x by 2 means tan x by 2 and the coefficient of x is 1 by 2 which goes to the denominator. Actually, I am making use of the substitution method where the term is linear. Without showing the substitution, we can do the integration. The coefficient of x should be taken to the denominator. So, secant square x has the integral tan x. So, secant square x by 2 has the integral tan x by 2 and the coefficient of x is 1 by 2 which has gone to the denominator. And then integral dx is x and the constant. This 2 being the denominator of the denominator goes to the numerator. So, y is equal to 2 tan x by 2 minus x plus c is the solution. So, this is how you have to write here. No need to do any other simplification here because whatever we have got here directly you can write it as the answer for this one. That is a solution for this one. Next problem. See, in this problem I had dy by dx and the other term was containing only x here. So, we had dy, integral dy and only the other function containing x had to be readjusted. Look at the next problem. Here this is also containing dy by dx, but on the right hand side we are having a function which contains only y here, but some value has been specified for y here. It should strictly lie between minus 2 plus 2, that is it belongs to the open interval minus 2 plus 2, otherwise it becomes an imaginary quantity. When it takes the value between minus 2 and plus 2, this becomes a real number. Otherwise, when the value of this is more than 4 here, it becomes a negative number, and square root of a negative number is an imaginary quantity. Therefore, since we discuss only about the real functions, the value has been specified here. Okay. Now, here you observe we do not have a y term at all. We do not have any x term. It is containing only purely y here. In the previous problem, there was no y term, it contained only x. Here it is not having x, it is having y, isn't it? So what I do is, first as usual, take that dx to the right hand side, multiply by dx, that is dy would be equal to root of 4 minus y square into dx. Okay. Next is, this has to go to the denominator. So what is the operation? Divide by root of 4 minus y square. So what do you get here? Dy divided by root of 4 minus y square is equal to dx. See, whether it is multiplying or dividing, we do the operation for both the sides of the equation. Multiply both, it is understood that multiply both sides, divide both sides. Okay. Now we can do the integration. Integrate 1 divided by root of 4 minus y square into dy is equal to integral dx plus the constant. Dx plus the constant. Look here. Now again, the right hand side is a basic function. Now this is one of the special functions. 6 special functions have been taught to you. 1 by a square minus x square, 1 by x square minus a square, 1 by a square plus x square. The quadratic terms here. That is the next 3. Same terms are there. They are given under the radical sign in the denominator position. 1 by root of a square minus x square like this. 1 by root of a square plus x square. 1 by root of x square minus x square. They are very important formulae. That's why we call them as special functions. This is nothing but a sine inverse function. It is of the form 1 by root of a square minus x square. So the formula is sine inverse of x by a. X, what is a here? 4 can be written as 2 square. So you can write the answer as sine inverse of x by a, that is y by 2. In this case, that is equal to x plus a. Now again, I told you already, the solution is complete. You can stop here. But let me use the definition of the inverse function. I am trying to write the answer or present the answer in a better way. Now use the definition of the inverse function. I can write y by 2 as sine of x plus c. Sine of x plus c. Taking 2 to the right hand side, y would be 2 times sine of x plus c. See, it is in the form of a function like y equal to fx. Okay, this is the actual solution. But rearranging this one, it comes to a neat form, isn't it? Presenting the answer in a better way. So that is what I am doing in this particular problem. So here, told you already, you have to look at the problem, how it can be, the terms can be arranged, whether it is containing both x and y or only x or only y. So depending upon the terms that have been given, you cannot remember or you cannot by heart any common method for this one. Depending upon the terms of the equation only, you have to think a little bit and then you have to rearrange the function. Next problem is dy by dx plus y is equal to 1. The condition that is given is y is not equal to 1. Y is not equal to 1. Now here, if you directly multiply by dx, you cannot separate x and y. So what I do is dy by dx equal to, I take y to the right hand side, 1 minus y. Okay. Now you have to divide both the sides so that it comes to this side and multiply so that dx goes to the right hand side. So as usual, multiply by dx, first step. Then when you multiply both the sides, it is dy equal to 1 minus y into dx. So dy and dx are separated. This should go to the left hand side because it is in the numerator. How do you do that one? It is divide by 1 minus y. See, that is why this condition has been given. we are dividing by 1 minus y means y should not be equal to 1. If y is equal to 1, it becomes 0. Division by 0 is not defined, as you know. For that purpose, the condition has been given. By looking at the function, you don't feel why it is given like this. When you simplify that, when you rearrange the terms, then we will know why that condition has been given. So when you divide by 1 minus y, how do you get the function now? It is dy divided by 1 minus y, that's equal to dx plus the only dx here. Now let us do the integration. Integral 1 by 1 minus y dy, that's equal to integral dx. Immediately you add the constant, don't forget it all. Now what type of function is it? It is of the form 1 over ax plus b. Again it is a substitution method only we are following, but here that substitution need not be shown because we are having a linear term. I told you when the linear terms are there, directly you can write the integral. Now it is a logarithmic function, log of 1 minus y, but divide this by the coefficient of y. What is that one? It is minus 1. That is equal to, this is a simple function, x plus c, that is minus of log of 1 minus y is equal to x plus c. You can stop here, or you can, because it is having a negative term here, shift it to the right hand side, it becomes positive. X plus log of 1 minus y plus c is equal to 0. So this is the solution, of the given function. So given equation. So this is how I told you. See here, directly it was not given. Of course, it is also containing only y only, no x at all. In the previous problem also, but in the previous problem, the term was given directly, root of 1 minus y square. Whereas in this problem, you have to take y to the right hand side and then only you could separate the variables here. Okay. Now let me try one more problem and then I conclude my session. dy by dx is equal to 1 plus y square into 1 plus x square. 1 plus x square, y square into 1 plus x square. Now again both x and y are there. We have to retain only x here. Y has to go to the left hand side with dy. And this dx has to go to the right hand side with 1 plus x square. So what is the first step here? You have to shift the dx term here, multiply by dx. That is dy would be equal to 1 plus y square into 1 plus x square into dx. Of course, you have to multiply both sides, means you have to write into dx and into dx. dx cancels. The directly I am writing because it is very simple calculation. Now x and dx are together. This has to go to the left hand side. When it is in the numerator, what you have to do? You have to divide by 1 plus y square. You have to write, divide both sides. That means that dy divided by 1 plus y square is equal to 1 plus x square into dx. So clearly you see that the variables have been separated. Now we can go for integration to find the solution. That is integral 1 over 1 plus y square into dy, that's equal to integral 1 plus x square into dx. Immediately the constant has to be added. Now see, this is again a tan inverse function. Tan inverse y equal to 1, there are two terms here, either separate them separately, you can write separately and then integrate, directly you can integrate. 1 into dx means integral is x, x square means x cube by 3, then the constant. So you can stop here itself, that is tan inverse y equal to x plus x cube by 3 plus the constant. Okay, you can stop here, or if you want to write in a different way also, you can try. That is, first you can multiply both the sides by 3 and then this becomes 3x plus x cube plus 3c, and then or else you can keep it as it is, multiplying only the right hand side by 3, that is 3x plus x cube plus 3c divided by 3. Then you can write y is equal to tan of that one using the definition of the inverse trigonometric function. Even if you use that definition here, you won't get a very simplified function. That is, if you write like this, it becomes like this, tan of x plus x cube by 3 plus c, or you can write 3x plus x cube plus 3c by 3 also. But it anyway it does not make much difference here. So, you can stop at that particular stage. That is I told you already, if you want the answer in a particular way, then only you have to make that adjustment. But whenever we consider the logarithmic function, suppose I get all the terms to be logarithmic terms, now then there are some chances of writing the answer in a very simple way, because we have got four laws of logarithm which can be utilized to simplify the function if possible, otherwise it is not necessary. So, go through these problems properly. In the next session also, I am working out some more problems which are connected with the same type, that is where the variables are separated. Okay, I will meet you in the next session. Thank you.